Hello and welcome back to the Skip As You podcast, episode 246. Brought to you guys as always by Chinook Cedary. Use the code SKIPASYOU for 10% discount. My name is Hagen. I'm here with Brett, as always. How you doing, Brett?
Doing good, man. Got some sun this weekend. Watched some baseball. Yankees are looking solid, so can't really complain. How are we doing with your Mets? Do you want to dive into the Mets, the bat early, or do you want to go through this agenda in order?
Let's push this off for a second because I might be going for a bit on this one. I'm pretty upset with the team, so we can dive right into it though if we want right into the agenda here with Jose Soriano. I think is someone we really got to talk about because I know even before his last start, he was looking like the best pitcher in all of baseball, even by ERA. He had like a .4 ERA. It was, I believe, one earned run allowed in his first 20-something innings. But, I mean, he's looked phenomenal. I think he was a very popular breakout pick for a lot of people in the industry, but I don't think people thought he was going to be looking like an all-star Cy Young type of guy. I mean, he's been phenomenal so far for the Los Angeles Angels. I mean, I think the big reason why this Angels team hasn't been as bad as I think a lot of people thought they were going to be.
Yeah, I'm pulling up Soriano right now. This year, 32.7. I don't even know how that makes sense, but he's got a .28 ERA, 39 Ks in of essentially 33 innings. He's already got 2.1 B WAR, 1.1 F WAR. He's been untouchable. It's been insane for a guy that I had him nowhere. To be totally honest, in fantasy, I was not on this guy at all. Was this a guy that you knew about pre-season that you were like hyped about, or was I living in a cave?
You know, that was someone I heard his name around a lot, just people I talked to, and it was people liked him for a breakout candidate, but I personally wasn't big on it. I didn't really go down the rabbit hole and look into him much because kind of the same thing. I was just kind of I've seen him for a few years, hasn't really done it yet. I guess it's a bad way to evaluate things because he's finally doing it now. But I didn't think he was going to come out like this.
Yeah, and he's right now. It's corny. He's the guardian angel for the Angels. Like that's for all the guys that they go out and sign with big names that don't work out, and for this guy to come in at virtually no money committed and just ball out, they deserved a guy like this after. Well, how many years ago was it when they spent like 20 picks in a row on pitchers only and like none of them panned out? It's just like, I know that's partially due to the scouting staff and the coaching staff and development, but that's also a little bit of bad luck that not one of them panned out unless the scouting was that bad, which you're hired to be scouts of a professional baseball team. I can't imagine it was that bad. I feel like there was some factor of bad luck into that.
I mean, you think you'd at least get one or two. I mean, especially if you do that many in a row, and then ironically enough, when they start drafting position players and they're all up to the big leagues in less than a year, which is even the funnier part, where it's just their development all just happens in the major league level. I mean, we even saw it too, like with Jo Adell. Like, I don't want to switch topic here, but Jo Adell really was kind of a quad A guy. I guess like he pushed him out to the major leagues fast, and then he was up and down between AAA. He was raking there, but he didn't really have development, so they just stuck him in the big league level, and it took him till last year, whatever that was, his fourth or fifth time appearing in a major league game year wise, that he finally started to figure it out. Now he's a mainstay in the lineup in the middle of the order for him.
Yeah. Speaking of main guys who are, coming out of nowhere like Jose Soriano, I'm not going to say the next guy on our agenda came out of nowhere, but he kind of did. He came out of the Ivy League. This was not a guy that was a big prospect. Can we start there? Can we agree on that before we jump into him? I think
that's a better way to put it. Yeah.
If you're listening and I mentioned the word Ivy League, that should be the giveaway about who I'm about to talk about, who's been tearing the cover off the baseball. But really, I need to talk about Ben Rice because Ben Rice has been a dog for all the guys to come into, New York and not do well. Ben Rice is owning it. And I tweeted this out this morning. Look at this. Like, if you're looking at a hitter, tell me between, F WAR, B WAR, I put them both just because the people differ depending on what you're looking at. Defensive metrics also, I guess, are favored in there a little bit. But OBP, WRC+, ISO, slug, OPS, Ben Rice is leading the league right now in all of these categories. And he's in the same lineup as Aaron Judge, Giancarlo Stanton, can't forget about Cody Bellinger, who they just paid $1 billion to. Hagen, obviously I'm stoked as a Yankee fan. I don't want to overdo it because, Yankees are going to probably bust at some point to the Dodgers anyway in the playoffs. But I need to get someone on board who's not a Yankee fan with me. How good is this dude?
I mean, the numbers speak for it. I mean, even last year, I think we all saw how good Ben Rice is as a hitter, and I think he was someone coming into the year. I wasn't going to be shocked if he got MVP votes, just how good he was. It's going to be coming down to playing time, which has been kind of the big topic with Ben Rice, and how is he not in the lineup every day against left-handed pitching? And I know it's more of a roster construction thing. It's nothing against Ben Rice. I mean, even too, if you want to look in the 20 at bats, that was a very, very small sample, but still a 265 WRC plus against left-handed pitching. So still crushing it, even better than he is against right-handed pitcher right now. Granted, 40 at bats less, but he's still crushing it there. I mean, Ben Rice is one of the best hitters all in Major League Baseball. Right now, he's the best hitter all in Major League Baseball, better than Aaron Judge is the best player in baseball, better than Joe Ohtani, better than Jordan Alfred. He's better than all those guys right now. He's the best hitter in Major League Baseball at this moment. And I don't think that really shocks anyone. I think last year I would probably say he was a top 15-ish hitter. I mean, this guy, I even said it to him too, like I have some Yankee friends and people don't really watch baseball as much. And I'll tell them going into the year, I was like, Ben Rice is your second best hitter. And they're all like, really? I don't really know. I'm like, no, this guy is very, very good. I mean, and he's young too. I know, like, defensively, he's kind of like, it sucks because Giancarlo Stanton, obviously, clogs the DH. You don't want Stanton to get hurt because he's normally a very, very good hitter. But Ben Rice is not a good catcher. So Austin Wells does a phenomenal job behind the plate. So it's like it's just hard to get him in the lineup every single day, which sucks. And I mean, it's hard too because people just say, don't play Paul Goldschmidt. And I know that's the easy thing to do is just not play Paul Goldschmidt and use him as a bat on the bench later in games if we need that. I see that, but also people forget. Paul Goldschmidt, I believe, was the third best hitter against left-handed pitching in all of baseball last year. Like, he's only going to play. He's not going to really face against right-handed pitching at all. But I do see the argument on why Ben Rice should be on the lineup every single day because you're the best hitter on the team right now, and the best hitter in baseball should not be in a platoon, which it's just kind of hard.
Yeah, I that's a tough one, and I did see that people were complaining about that one, which it makes sense, and like. I don't have a valid opinion on it. I shouldn't say valid opinion. I don't have a hard opinion on it because, like, I think you're walking the fine line of like too analytical versus just play the hot hand. But by the numbers, which numbers don't lie, statistically, like Goldschmidt against left-handed pitching tore the cover off the baseball last year. Sherry's old. The guy's generated 64 WAR in his career. I do trust him to take some at bats, especially when it's with his strength. And they paid him not big money. I think they gave him $5 million for the year, virtually a veteran's minimum in baseball nowadays. I know that's not accurate, but you know what I mean. $5 million is nothing, especially for a player who's accumulated 65 WAR in their career and can play some solid first base for them when needed. So as for Ben Rice, I kind of like it a little bit. I actually don't have it in front of me if he's played catcher for any games this year, if at all. That shame on me for not knowing.
Yeah, he's got 19 games at first base and 2 at DH, which
okay,
I thought you would have got behind the dish at least once or twice.
Yeah, and same here. And I was going to make the argument for Aaron Boone, like, oh, maybe like the days where you're taking him out of the lineup, you're giving him a rest day, like post or prior, like going behind the dish. But he hasn't even done that. So who knows why? It may be just Aaron Boone's hard settled. Like, no, he's not. Like, we signed this guy. We're going to play him. And when I'm talking about Goldschmidt here, but who knows? He's really, really good. He's carrying the Yankees right now. And this is what makes Yankee fans salivate and get, really braggadocious about their team, such as myself. Like, it's hard not to think of the potential possibilities of like Jazz Chisholm, Bellinger, Stanton, Judge, Ben Rice, Austin Wells, who was, third in and AL Rookie of the Year voting like 2 years ago. Like, yeah, did he have a down year last year for Austin Wells compared to his rookie year? Yeah, but he still was solid. So it's like hard not to dream on all these guys all hitting at the same time and just like entering the playoffs, doing that after and getting Rodon back and Cole back. Cole's making a rehab start, by the way. He's coming back. It's kind of nice. But let's move on. Let's talk to another hitter right now who's just tearing the cover off the baseball. I feel like I'm overusing that phrase today. Let's talk about Munetaka Murakami.
I mean, this guy has been on fire, but also it's kind of weird from what he's been so far. I think if you look at like his numbers, I think it kind of speaks exactly what we thought Munetaka Murakami was going to be. You can see right there, he's hitting 208. but he's a 910 OPS. Like, everything we saw was this guy's going to strike out a ton. If you look right now, his strikeout, he's in the bottom 8th percentile now. We said he was going to whiff more than anyone in baseball. He whiffs more than anyone in baseball right now. 42% of the time he's swinging and missing. But he is hitting the absolute shit out of the baseball, like we all knew. The power's always going to be there. And even, too, the other day, he had his 8th home run, which already makes him tied for 3rd right now in all of Major League Baseball. This guy is absolutely crushing the baseball. When he gets a hold of it, honestly, he's going to have those games where he strikes out 3 or 4 times. He's just going to be a guy who's always going to strike out, always going to swing and miss. But he's shown us so far when he does get a hold of the ball, he's going to absolutely crush it. I'm pretty sure you saw the video, the grand slam he had. I know it's in the A's ballpark, which is kind of a launch pad out there, but a grand slam over the batter's eye, that is pretty awesome. Any home run over the batter's eye, I think it said it was only 430. It looked like it was 470 off the bat going over the batter's eye, but that was a crazy swing from the top corner count.
Yeah, the guy's tied for, he's got 8 bombs on the year, tied for 3rd most of the majors, only behind Jordan and Judge. If you look at Murakami's 56 home runs that he hit for the Tokyo Yakult Swallows, this is from his 2022 season. He is right now, that's the most all-time by a Japanese-born hitter in that league. And now he's on pace for 58 home runs for the White Sox. So he not only set the record over there in Japan for most home runs ever by a Japanese hitter, he is on the pace for 58 in the MLB, which, dude, like, I know 58's a lot, but, who's to say? The guy's been awesome. Who's to say? Another thing, he also hits the piss out of the ball. 95 miles an hour average exit velocity. It's the 4th highest in baseball, only behind O'Neal Cruz, James Wood, and Jack Caglione. So we hear those names all the time with the funny unicorn stats, how hard they hit the baseball. This guy's right there. He's right there. So good for him. Good for him and coming to the big leagues and, showing us what's up.
I mean, I think even too, there was, Saris right before he came over. He just compared just his data from Japan, and if you just take his exit velocities and his whiff numbers, who was he most like a Major League Baseball player? And the number 1 comp he got was Joey Gallo. And I think we're kind of like seeing this Joey Gallo. I mean, he's doing almost like the Schwarber thing too, where like he's hitting 200 right now, but he's got a 900 OPS. I mean, it's such a fun ball player, but also a frustrating ball player too, because a guy like him, he's going to strike out so many times, especially in big situations and games and stuff. You're going to see him strike out way too much, but this guy can also change a game with one swing. I mean, it's very fun. It's a very fun profile, but it's one of those ones where if he's not hitting those home runs, which I think he's always going to be able to do that, it's just to me how many can he hit, how often can he connect. But if he's not hitting the home runs, he's not going to be a productive baseball player.
Yeah, like, man, the only thing that, like, not, man, I'm a Yankee fan. I have a very, very sour taste in my mouth from Joey Gallo. The only thing I can say, he could also defend. He had 2 Gold Gloves in his career. I don't know, Murakami's ever going to get a Gold Glove. But as long as he hits the ball, hits close to his weight and puts the ball over the fence, I don't think the White Sox care about his defense. Let's talk about our first pitcher of the day. Oh, sorry, second pitcher of the day. Now that we've covered 2 bats and an arm, we got to talk about Parker Messick of the Cleveland Guardians. So 4 starts. He's a lefty, so we love that he's a southpaw. Has a 1.05 ERA with 25 Ks and only 7 walks after almost 26 innings. Hagen, have the Guardians done it again?
I think they might have. I don't think Parker Messick obviously is going to be a 1 ERA after the rest of the year, but who's saying this guy can't be a 3.5 ERA? I think you could also set the line a bit lower if you wanted to. You could probably set it at a 3.3, 3.4-ish. I mean, this guy's been great, and I think he just kind of embodies like a Cleveland Guardians pitcher. Cleveland's always known for they can develop these pitchers, bring them out of nowhere, even like when they're in the minor leagues, not be these huge, well-known guys, and go to the big leagues and shove for him. I think Parker Messick, too, especially as a guy, because look, he goes 93 miles an hour, and he's a left-hander. That's not really anything special by any means. I don't think just from the velocity and stuff that someone's going to catch people's eyes. This guy lefty throws 90, soft tossing lefty. But the way this guy's doing right now, he's getting a ton of chase too, which is very good for his pitches right now. If you look at his plots too, they're really good too. I like the way the curveball looks. He's only going about 12% of the time right now, specifically to right-handed hitters too, bringing it into them. But this guy's looked great so far. I mean, fourth in baseball in ERA right now behind only Jose Soriano, who we just talked about, Bryce Elder, and Michael Wacha. And those guys are all, Michael Wacha, probably the most underrated pitcher in baseball. But Parker Messick, I mean, he's been great so far for the Cleveland Guardians and been ace of the staff this year. I mean, this is the reason why the Guardians are always going to be in it every single year. It's like you look at the Cleveland Guardians every single year, you look at their roster and you don't really feel like you ever think they're going to win the division. And then all of a sudden, by the end of the year, they're always in the wild card hunt and they're always right there in the division. And I know it's a very soft division and it's very easy. You can go on a big losing streak and still have a chance to win the division and all that. But he could be a big reason why Cleveland could be winning this division this year.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that he looks disgusting, and this is exactly what the doctor ordered for a Cleveland team that couldn't seem to catch a break with guys departing the team for new greener pastures, or breaking the rules, or tipping pitches, or gambling on pitches that they're going to throw. But Cleveland, we've seen Shane Bieber leave. We've seen Emmanuel Clase leave, and they still find ways to reproduce guys on the mound. And I think that's the most impressive part. And now we're seeing it in this new regime between Tanner Bybee, Gavin Williams, Parker Messick. They are just kind of rebuilding this rotation from the inside out. And it's awesome to watch, especially being a lefty. I love that. So if you see the bottom, I changed it. His first strike percentage is 78% of the time he's landing his first pitch for a strike. You can't really argue with these numbers. They're insane. And I love seeing this for the Guardians, a team that heavily relies upon building from the inside. They don't really go out and make these big trades. They don't make these big acquisitions via free agency. They do it the homegrown way. And here's another product. So we'll continue to watch Parker Messick throughout the season. What I do want to say is, for those who are watching, if you're wondering, hey, where is Hagen and Brett pulling up these photos from? It's StatSoldier.com. Our very own Dean Siriaco built this website. If you haven't seen any of my tweets or tweets coming out from the Skipper's View with these awesome images, analytics, and all that, we're building it straight from here. So you can see on the left-hand side, there's where we edit and we kind of look through what players, what stats we want to see. And there's a lot of formality and different features to show, display photos and charts and diagrams of what players are doing. It looks great. The information's all in one place and it's homegrown from us. So go check out StatSoldier.com and there's premium subscriptions available. So I think there's a free trial feature to it. But you could do some of it free and stay on free forever, or go to the premium and get everything. And it's not even expensive. There's no ads. It's wonderful. Go check it out if you haven't already. Hagen, now I'm gonna let you rant. The floor is yours. We need to talk about the Mets, who have lost 7 games in a row. Are they playing right now as well?
No, thankfully they can't lose again today. So the off day might have beat them today. I don't know the way they're playing. That wouldn't surprise me. But the New York Mets right now, if you even remotely know anything about baseball, it's pretty well documented that the Mets are just an awful baseball team right now, and they're the worst team in baseball. Especially when their payroll is only behind the Los Angeles Dodgers. It's at $381 million. They're paying around $160 million in taxes this year to put this team on the field. They have lost 11 straight games because of that. Granted, Juan Soto's missed a few of those games. I think it's been a big part of it here. But you look at it, too. If you take everyone in this starting lineup, I was talking to my dad about this just before I hopped on here. If you just take during the 11-game losing streak, if you take Francisco Lindor, Bo Bichette, Marcus Semien, Luis Robert, Carson Bench, Brett Beatty, Jorge Blanco, Mark Vientos. The everyday lineup minus Francisco Alvarez. They're hitting a combined 191 in the last 275 at-bats. That is awful. I mean, that's disgraceful. You can't win any ball game doing that. It's gotten to the point I've told my friends, they gave up 3 runs and it's the 3rd inning. I just accept the game's over. I don't really care to watch it anymore at that point because I know they're not going to win. I know they're not going to score or do anything because this offense can't water the thought boat. They can hit ground balls. That's all they can do right now. They can't drive anything. They can't manufacture runs. They can't put together a good inning. And then when they do, they have lapses on defense, mental lapses. Then when they do play a good game, the pitching falls apart. I mean, it's just time to play better. I mean, I know it's still early in the year, and I don't want to say the season's over with 22 games into the year. There's still 140 games left in the season, but I put this out today on Twitter just to put out in perspective. Like, I would assume, I think if you need to make the playoffs to the National League this year, you're going to need 86 wins. For the Mets to reach 86 wins, they need to go 79-61, 18 games above 500 the rest of the season. And that's in the midst of an 11-game losing streak. Yes, that's totally doable. Fangraphs has them projected to finish 75-65, which is sixth best in baseball record rest of the way. But that alone would just put them at 82-80, which won't be enough. So the easy way to put it is just they need to start winning games now. And that's not even accounting for if they do get better. I mean, let's say you need to make 88 wins, just even more wins you need to get there. And to put it in perspective too, like how often, like 79-61 is definitely doable, especially with this team. The Mets are a very, very talented team. I still believe in this team for sure. But to put in perspective how impressive that is, to if they had that winning percentage, it would be 564. The only team projected to have a higher winning percentage than that the rest of the way of baseball is the Los Angeles Dodgers. So basically, Fangraphs is telling you, by their projections, the New York Mets have to have the same record as the Los Angeles Dodgers the rest of the season to make the playoffs, which is, right now, sounds impossible for how bad this team has been. It's definitely doable. Juan Soto is going to be coming back. Francisco Lindor, it's time for him to step up. I know he's a slow starter every single year, and he was dealing with elbow surgery in the offseason. He got hand surgery about a month ago. It's time for him to start showing up. Bo Bichette, yes, obviously $42 million a year. He started off really slow. It's just time for these guys who are making a lot of money, and a lot of money's committed to them. They have obligations. It's just time to step up and stop playing bad. I mean, it's to the point like Carson Bench, I love him, and I'm not putting all this pressure on because he's a rookie, but when you're a bottom five hitter in all of baseball this far in the season and the team can't win, it might be time to mix it up. And the replacement right now, obviously, Jared Young got hurt, which kind of sucks there because he was raking for him, but it's time for something to happen to this team. I'm not full-blown fire Carlos Mendoza. I still really want him there. I think the team's going to eventually start winning. It's just crazy. It's 11-game losing streak, and you just can't keep digging yourself a bigger hole. It's time to just show up now. I mean, I get the beginning of the year when it's just, hey, slow starts, whether people get in the groove and stuff, but now is the time, especially with an easy schedule coming up at this point. This is the time where you got to turn it around, or people are really going to give up on you and stop showing up to the games. Francisco Lindor even had a quote the other day saying, "We know it's going to be very loud from these fans when we show up on Tuesday." This team, I was talking about it before, this team is going to be getting booed from first pitch tomorrow. Anytime they take a strike, anytime they get out, it is going to be very loud boos from these fans because they are very pissed off, and rightfully so.
Dude, so I might have mentioned this to you before. I was home this weekend, by the way. I was home all week. And that, by the way, for anyone listening who's a dedicated listener, thank you. The reason why we said last week we were going to go 2 times a week going forward in the season. I was home in New York. I was actually with Dean. My grandparents celebrated their 70th wedding anniversary. 70 years married. My grandpa's 95, grandma 88. They grew up, both born Staten Island. They are the biggest Met fans I know. Like, you're up there, obviously. But, dude, they're every night like you. And that's all they do. They're old. They can't go anywhere. This is what they do. They watch the Mets. And I'm home this weekend. And I go to my grandpa who could barely hear. He could barely talk. And I go, "What's going on with your Mets?" And he goes like this. He just made that little hand gesture. And my grandmother went on a tangent. She's like, "Steve Cohen, what he's done to this team. Terrible. Terrible." And I rage baited her so hard. Due to the fact I know she loved Peter Alonso. I know she loved Brandon Nimmo. She hated that this guy moved the core of this team in the offseason and was not a fan of it. And she's on livid. She's livid right now. And like a little 88-year-old Italian woman from Staten Island, New York. She's a diehard Mets fan, livid with the Mets. And it's, for me, I'm looking at a little bit more the optimistic side for New York fans. The Mets are not this bad. The Nationals have a lead on them in the division right now. Let that sink in. The Athletics are second in the AL West. The Angels are third. The Mariners and the Astros are behind all those teams. Baseball's weird. Teams are going to lose games. A lot of the star hitters in the league right now are not hitting. I have a piece coming out this week about 5 guys who are cold to start the year. Look at the Mariners. Cal Raleigh is a shell of himself right now. Julio Rodriguez is a shell of himself right now. You have plenty of guys who are not hitting. I just think the Mets as a team, they're not clicking yet. It's still April. And usually the Mets start off hot, I feel. Am I wrong about that? They're
It's
usually
normally
the best
once you
team in
get
baseball in April and then fall apart after that.
that's the thing. Normally they're pretty good and up until June, and then the month of June just kind of screws their entire season. And I think to your point too of like, yes, the division honestly, like looking at it now, the division could be lost. Obviously, the Braves have to keep up playing their pace they're doing right now, but like at the beginning of the year, I was looking to win the division. Now I'm just looking solely at the wild card, which is crazy to say 22 games into the year for how bad the start's gotten. But if you look too, like the Phillies were projected, them and the Mets were like two top 5 teams right there. The Phillies are only a game and a half above the Mets. Like the Phillies aren't playing good right now either. They're on a 5-game losing streak, so they can definitely do that. Both those teams are going to pass the Nationals at some point. Probably pass the Marlins, I would assume. But I mean, it's early. The more you keep losing early on, you can't keep digging yourself a hole. I mean, Tim Brand had a good article this morning on the Mets and just basically said they're the 140th team ever to start 7-15. Only 8 of those previous 138 haven't made the playoffs since 1903.
Yeah, and like you just look at the Nationals real quick. They're 10-13. 5 of their wins came in the last 5 games. So they're 500 in their last 10. The Marlins right now, they're 3-7 in their last 10. They started off hot. The Marlins are good in terms of like they are a solid baseball team. Are they a playoff bound team? I still think it's a little early in the Peter Bendix experiment. I know we talked about this a lot last year. Like, is this going to be the year? You said no. You were definitively like, no, Miami's not making the playoffs next year. And I said, I think I could see it, but they didn't go out and get all the talent hitting wise I think they need in order to carry them to a wild card spot. And maybe they will. Maybe they'll impress and surprise us, but a lot of baseball left to be played. Let's jump finally to the last thing in the hot corner, and then we could go to the divisional roundup. So, just real quick, San Diego Padres, Peter Seidler was their owner, bought them back in 2012 when I graduated in high school. Oh my God. $800 million. They're now looking to close on a deal with the Chelsea Football Club owner, Jose Feliciano, and his wife for $3.9 billion. So, big payday for the Seidler family. Do you think any comment on them getting acquired or?
Yeah, I have a little comment on this. Obviously, I think it's good that the Padres got sold in the first place, obviously, because we know the Padres have had big financial constraints. And I think a lot of people look at this and they say, this guy is going to put more money in the team, almost a Steve Cohen type of thing, where he just can put all this money in the team. I don't really believe that. I think if you look at, obviously, I don't know this guy very well. I don't know soccer owners very well. But if you look into these companies that have multiple sports teams on it, they run them like companies. Not everyone runs it like Steve Cohen, where it's a charity to him because it's his favorite team, and he just says, I don't care about the money. Like these teams, when they own multiple teams in different states and different leagues especially, this is a business for them. Like this is how they make their living, is they own all these teams together. This doesn't mean the Padres are just going to add $100 million in payroll and have free reigns. This could mean, like, yeah, the budget's probably going to be a little bit up compared to what it was recently, but this doesn't mean I don't think they're going to come out to be signing $300 million contracts again like they were before. But I think it is a good thing they did get him sold. I just think it does. I just hope it's not a sense of, like how the Red Sox did with John Henry for a very long time, is they bought soccer teams and they started spending less money on the Red Sox. And it's, hey, man, spend money on your team here. And stop treating it like a business. Like, this is the Boston Red Sox. You shouldn't be trading away guys like Mookie Betts because you can't afford it. Because you obviously can't afford him. Don't run it like a business. And I know, yes, these guys are businessmen. They make their money for a reason. They have as much money as they have for a reason. And they have to do that. They have their obligations and all that. I understand that. But I just hope it's not run too much like a business where it's just, hey, we have to cut the payroll back.
Yeah. Well, well said. Let's jump to the divisional roundup because we are already 30 minutes in, and we're gonna try and do this in 45. So American League East, I don't have anything big to comment on, and I usually take the East just because I'm the Yankees fan here. I will say this: kudos to the Rays. 22 games in, 2 games above 500, second in the division, and they need this if they're going to make a wild card run, which I think they do have the roster to make similar to the Marlins. I think they're a little bit better than the Marlins, though. They have the ability to make a run. The thing is, they need to capitalize now, while teams like Boston and Toronto, and even the Blue Jays, even the Baltimore Orioles, for that matter, who are 2 games below 500, are not winning baseball games. So you got to take market share when available, and Rays are taking care of that, opportunity right now. For the American League Central, this was newsworthy. I want to hear your comments on this. The big takeaway that I put down, McGonigal, 8 years, $150 million. Do you think he deserved this?
100%. I mean, this guy has been the best hitter in minor league baseball last year. It was the best. Obviously, he was a better hitter than Connor Griffin. At least I believe that, in the sense of this guy's being able to break. I think he's always going to have a solid floor, but always going to be able to swing the bat. The defense is more the question with him, where he's going to be fine at third base, or is he going to play? Is he able to stick there fine? I think McGonigal is a great deal for them too, especially when you think about this too, with the looming lockout coming too. There could be a thing, like if a salary cap does get put in place, I still believe it's not going to happen, but in the chance it does, we've seen all these people start signing these young guys to long-term extensions. If the salary cap does come in place, it's going to come at expense of service time before your free agent is going to go from 6 years to 5 years. So this is almost buying an extra year on a guy that you lose before. And also, too, I think the timing, too. I like how he debuted and then they signed their extension, which is just smart business, too, especially because now if he wins Rookie of the Year, takes top 3 in MVP voting in the next 2 years, you're going to get the PPI pick. You're going to get basically a first-round pick for him doing that, which is huge. I mean, we saw like Paul Skeens with the Pirates a few years ago. They manipulated the service time to get the extra year of him. Ended up winning the Rookie of the Year, so then he got a service time back, and they didn't get a draft pick, botched it. Since then, we've seen teams do the smart thing, sign them after they debut. It's a great thing to do.
Yeah, he looks legit, and I am excited that another young guy is getting paid. We love this. I know there's been a lack of success recently for the Atlanta Braves, but a lot of teams seem to be taking the strategy from Anthopoulos and company over there, running the team, getting these guys signed. Being very, very strategic about getting these guys signed early, and I think it works for both ways. Obviously, if he doesn't hit or doesn't work out, it doesn't work for the team. But like sometimes you just got to take a gamble, and I don't think this is one of the safest gambles that we've seen in a while. Get one of these extensions. He's been all the part of a great player, and Detroit needs some hitting to match with that rotation that they got. So let's jump to the AL West. I didn't have anything specific. I guess we could have mentioned Jose Soriano. Did you have anything you wanted to call out for the AL West?
Nothing, honestly, for me there.
All right, yeah. AL West is kind of boring right now because like the Astros are down, the Mariners are down. It's like fun teams who are going to make the playoffs are not doing well. So let's jump to the NL East, your division.
Yeah, I want to talk about the Atlanta Braves here. And first off, too, I'm so bad at judging the Atlanta Braves last 2 years, and I know it's early on in the year, but last year they were my pick to win the World Series. And if anyone knows me, I absolutely hate the Atlanta Braves. They're my least favorite sports team because they always just own the Mets, is the easy way to put it. Last year I had them as my World Series champions. Don't make the playoffs. This year I have them as missing the playoffs. They're the second best team in baseball so far. So I just can't judge the Atlanta Braves right now. But I think it's just incredible what they're doing right now. They already have a 5-game division lead, 22 games into the season. That's insane. They're the only team with a positive run differential right now in the NL East with a plus 57. The second best is the Marlins at -1. So that's pretty crazy too. And I think the big part about this too is if you would have told the Braves even that they would have been within 3 games of the division, I feel like at this point, the start of the year, I think the fans would have taken it there because you look too. I know you have Drake Baldwin, but Sean Murphy's hurt right now. Ha-Seong Kim, your opening day shortstop, was done. He's going to be out for a few more months. Look at the rotation too. Spencer Schwellenbach was going to be your 2 right there in the rotation. Spencer Strider was going to be your 3. Those guys are out. Then Hurston Waldrop and AJ Smith-Shawver, those guys are out too. I mean, you look at this rotation. Chris Sale, and after that it went Grant Holmes, Bryce Elder, Ronaldo Lopez, Martin Perez. That looked awful to start the year. Bryce Elder is 3rd in ERA in baseball right now. He has been incredible, Big Texas has. I believe he was on the mound today too. Looked pretty good from last I saw. Shout out Jeb for that nickname. But Grant Holmes has been great for him too. Chris Sale's going to be Chris Sale every time he's healthy. I mean, I just got to give props to the Atlanta Braves, and I just didn't see this coming, especially on the rotation side of things.
Yeah, dude, by the way, Philly's run differential is worse than the Mets. Way worse. Phillies are -38, Mets are -25, so they're more than 10 runs. Just saying, for little hope for those Mets fans. Let's talk about NL Central. The big call out I have for the National League Central. Honestly, we could have talked about the Reds, but let's talk about the fun player. Let's talk about Jordan Walker, who is amazing right now.
I mean,
He's
Jordan
got a
Walker has been incredible.
Yeah, 305 batting average. He's one dotting on the OPS line, 8 home runs, so he's right up there. B WAR 1.8. This is the Jordan Walker we all came to see a few years ago, and for reasons that are still not explained to us, the Cardinals felt the need to keep sending him up and down to the minor leagues even when he was hitting, and it was the most perplexing and mind-boggling decision we've seen with a prospect like this in a long time. I guess ultimately at the end of the day, they wanted him to work on things back. Right, that was the story back when this happened. They were like, we wanted to work on specifically like hitting right hand pitching or like hitting a cutter. Or it was like something like so niche, and it was like the guy's hitting like 275 as a rookie. Just let him do his thing, and now he's finally getting his chance to ascend. And look at that stat sheet. Hagen, Jordan Walker. Is it early to say that he's going to finish top 5 in MVP voting?
I think it's early for that, especially because it's a long season. But I don't think it's early to say that Jordan Walker is a new ball player now. I think if you look at the swing changes he made, they're certainly helping him out a ton. Obviously, he spent the offseason with Driveline when obviously worked on a swing. It's very noticeable too if you look at the swing changes where his hand setups are and his foot a little bit too. It's helping him get in a lot better positions too from everything I've read on it too and everything. And I think it's been great for him too this year. I mean, it makes me happy too. I mean, this guy's only 23 years old, which is crazy. It seems like he's been in the league for 4 years now and he's done nothing. So it's just happy to see a guy finally figured out.
Yeah, definitely. I know that was presumptuous to assume top 5 in MVP voting in the National League, but hey, we are 22 games in. This is no longer just like a little hit streak or anything like that. We're 22 games in. He's hitting 300. He's top 10 in home runs, top 25 in batting average, putting up RBIs. His team's probably not going to do anything, and that's probably one of the biggest things against him right now. Let's talk finally about the National League West. And I don't want to jinx it, and I hate bringing this up, but I'm going to do it anyway. Mason Miller, he's 1 inning short of tying the franchise scoreless streak record. Dude, Mason Miller has been filthy. Any comments on the closer?
I mean, the fact he's thrown 11 and 2/3 innings, I think he's given up 2 hits. I mean, like fielding independent pitching. It's basically ERA if you took out what the pitcher can't control, so the defense. Basically, take away the defense and just what the pitcher can control and make that ERA. His FIP is negative. It's breaking the stat. That's how good he is right now. It's negative. They're basically saying he should be getting runs to him almost in a sense. If he should not be allowing anything at all. I mean, it's incredible what this guy's doing. I mean, there's always the stats people are showing. He has the batter's face. It's like he struck out, I believe, let me give me here real quick, too, Mason Miller on his strikeouts right now. He's striking out 71% of batters right now. The second highest of any reliever in baseball is Mason Montgomery at 45%. He has like three more balls thrown physically, like outside of the strike zone than he has strikeouts. I mean, this guy's. I was telling my dad this earlier. You watch this guy as at bats. It's literally unfair. You're seeing the best hitters in the world literally just guess on what it is because it's 103 fastball and then it'll throw a 93-mile-per-hour slider off of it. People are just guessing. People will swing 15 feet out in front of the slider. It's incredible to watch this guy. I mean, you could say he's the best pitcher in baseball right now. I know he's a closer, and that's crazy to say, but like, if this guy does what he's doing this, and I know it's early on in the year, he has to do his full season, I know that, but like, this guy could have a case for Cy Young if he pitches like 70 innings, and he's doing this.
Yeah, just look at, dude, he's 100 percentile in the whip department right now, and like, I'm quickly pulling this up, as you can see. Except changes swords. He's got 6 swords where it's like, I think that stat is like people are missing the ball by 15 inches or more. It's like, isn't that what sword is technically?
Sword they have is an attempted swing, I think under 45 mile per bat speed. Basically like what it sounds like when you guys go into swing and it just totally fooled though.
Yeah. It's the bat head must cross the line 5 inches ahead of the front of the plate, but not return through it. So it is, he's dicing up batters right now. It's disgusting. Some MLB news to run through just because we're running a little bit later on time. I want to try and catch us back up real quick. So Matt Olson, Iron Man, 800 consecutive games played. Good for you, dude. Brewers placed Christian Yelich on the 10-day IL with a left groin strain. No bueno, especially because they're already missing Jackson Chourio in the outfield. The Cubs, another 2 devastating injuries. Hunter Henry, 15-day IL with inflammation in his right triceps. I believe I saw Porter Hodge went down this week as well, another reliever for them who has closing experience. The Padres, they lose their opening day starter, Nick Pivetta. He's out for God knows how long. He's right now on the 15-day IL, but he's got right elbow inflammation. Never a good sign. George Springer seems like he is coming back sooner rather than later, but he had a fractured big left toe, and he went on the 10-day IL. And Eloy Jimenez was called up to make his debut. I did not look at his stats because he's almost irrelevant right now. Orioles first baseman Ryan Mountcastle went on the 60-day IL with a broken bone in his left foot. Never a good sign, but the Orioles acquired first baseman Christian Encarnacion Strand from the Reds for cash. Encarnacion Strand had been designated for assignment, so it looks like this is a win-win for Cincinnati and Baltimore, and give and also CES because it's given him another home to try and make it work out. He was a highly touted bat last year, or was it last year or 2 years ago he came up as a prospect?
I believe 2 years ago.
Okay, so he's a guy who had a lot of, hype around his bat. Hasn't all worked out yet, but we'll see if Baltimore can make that work. The Astros, last thing they need is another injury to their rotation, but that's exactly what happened with Tatsuya Imai heading to the IL. He went with right arm fatigue, and Jeremy Pena, their shortstop, he went on the 10-day IL with a grade 1 strain of his hamstring. All that being said, that doesn't bring up, and I saved the best or the biggest injury for last, and that happened earlier today. Edwin Diaz. He has loose bodies in his elbow. He's having surgery. He's going to be back in 3 months. Hagen. Yes, no, does this matter at all for the Dodgers win-loss record at the end of the year?
I really don't think so. I think, too, we know the Dodgers that, I know it's different in this case when you actually need surgery, but they're going to take their time with him. They know, this team's 15-6 right now. They had their best start in, I believe, 51 years as a franchise after winning the back-to-back World Series. They just want this guy in October back. Take his time, make sure everything is going well for him. But I think a lot of people did see at least an IL stint coming. I don't know if they saw surgery, but his velo was down. I think he was throwing like 93 miles an hour this year early on. Like he had weird velo issues. So it was a very interesting thing. He didn't throw for a few days too. So it sucks for Edwin Diaz, obviously, coming off the big contracts. Just for the Dodgers too. They finally show out the big money, get their closer they've been looking for, and immediately just is having issues and has to get surgery, which kind of sucks. You think the team that does everything right somehow can't get a closer right, which is hilarious.
Yeah, it's actually funny that you put it like that. They got everything right, and they cannot get the closer roll down. But hopefully all of the injuries, all these guys come back sooner rather than later. Finally, the last piece of news before we go into our last takes. Unfortunately, longtime Angels outfielder Garrett Anderson passed away this week, and that was one that kind of hit home for me. He was an awesome MLB Showdown card. I had him multiple years, and I remember him growing up as a kid, and I was an Angels fan. I know him from the card game. And then obviously at bats he took, but he holds the franchise record for 2,368 games played for the Angels. He was 53 years old. Real sad stuff. Hate to see that. That being said, don't want to dwell on sad news. Let's jump to our last takes. So, hey, I put down 2 stats. I want your reactions to both of them. So, Shohei Ohtani was down to the final out, and then he hit a ball to right field, and now he's on base 50 straight games. He is now currently 3rd longest on base streak in Dodgers history. He's tied with Willie Keeler. How insane is this for a guy that pitches, has won 4 MVPs in the last 5 years?
I believe 3 in the last 4.
Okay, and he's won 4 in the last 5 or 6.
Something like that.
And he does it from the mound. He does it from the batter's box. He's now gotten on base 50 straight games for the Dodgers. Is this the greatest run we've ever seen for a player?
Yeah, I mean, you could take the Bonds when he was like a 10 WAR, 65 homer guy. You could do that, but even that, he wasn't really pitching too. I mean, he just this is this is the best run we've ever seen too. I mean, this guy's got a 50 game on base streak. Sorry, 49 game on base streak, and then he's also pitching at a premier level too right now. I mean, just there's no words. I mean, we talk about Shohei Ohtani. It seems like almost every episode on this podcast, and every time I'm at a loss for words on what it is because it's some crazy stat. And when he first started playing, it was like these ones of first time since Babe Ruth to do this, and now it's getting ones of like this guy's 30 on history on base, and because people fear him too. It's not like yes, he's a very good hitter, but he's so good too, where it's like the other guys behind him, people fear him. Like there's been multiple times that during this streak where he'll go 0 for 3 and he keeps this going because he gets intentionally walked late in the game. I mean, it's incredible.
Yeah, Otani's unworldly. I don't know how to. Again, I feel like I've said this multiple times. I'm running out of adjectives how to describe this dude. He is stupendous. We'll say that. He's just incredible at what he does. Two more things. One of them's not on the agenda, but let's talk about it because it's the name of the episode. Let's give him a couple minutes of respect. Mike Trout, dude. Mike Trout, first player ever to homer in 4 straight days in Yankee Stadium as a visiting player. No one has ever done this before in baseball history. And he had 5 total home runs in the series against the Yankees. Dude, healthy Mike Trout is the best thing baseball could have going for it. I really do believe that.
I mean, I think a lot of people too. I think a lot of kids nowadays. I've made multiple tweets about this. Kids these days don't understand how good prime Mike Trout was. I mean, I grew up on that, and then I know now that he's been great when he's on the field, yeah. But then, because this guy can't catch a break. I mean, there's been this year. I think he's already had the one injury he dealt with. I forgot what it was, and then he got hit in the hand too. It's like this guy can't catch a break. But when Mike Trout is healthy, he's showing it. Even at 34 years old, he's still one of the best players in all of Major League Baseball.
Dude, between 2012 and 2020, Mike Trout was either the MVP or MVP 2 7 times. He won 3 MVPs. He was runner-up 4 others. Also included in those years, he had an MVP 4 finish and an MVP 5 finish. And that doesn't include his MVP 8 finish in 2022. 11-time All-Star. I still think that Mike Trout's the best player of, like, I don't know how you define, like, how would you define generation? Like, the people you grew up watching, or, like, when you know what I mean? Like,
because that's what's hard, because I don't know how to define it, because technically Judge and Trout are the same generation, but, like, I don't view them mentally as the same generation. I view Trout as a generation before.
Exactly. And I would say Trout, because I was coming out of high school when Trout debuted, like, that's really when I got into baseball. Played a couple fantasy leagues in high school, and then Mike Trout came along, and it was like, dude, what is this? Like, you know, who is this guy, Mike Trout? I bought his Bowman this weekend, $70. I went to Dean's store, and John, the owner, he was like, "You want it, don't you?" And I was like, "Yeah, I do. Let's get it." And it was his rookie Bowman. Of course, I bought it. It's Mike freaking Trout, and like, dude, go to Long Island Sports Card Store, by the way, if you get an opportunity, if you're listening in from the Long Island area. Great guys. They'll give you discounts, best prices available for cards. They've got a great selection of cards as well. And he was just like, he went on a rant. He's like, why are kids so stupid that they're buying whatever cards? And like, we have multiple Mike Trout Bowmans here. Like, it's Mike Trout we're talking about. So I thought that was funny. I locked it in, got one for myself, and it was good to see him, you know, return. You know, it's good to see him healthy. I want to see him healthy all year long. That's really, like, I'm not even mad that he beat up on the Yankees. I was more just like, whoa, this is awesome.
I got one. It was very cool. It was very cool, though, not even him just beat up on the Yankees, but to see, like, Mike Trout and Aaron Judge just go shot for shot with each other. Like, that was incredible to watch. I mean, that was awesome. I brought like the kid. That was like the high school me with seeing the high school and college Aaron Judge is the best player in the league. I'm seeing like that with my childhood of Mike Trout, like mashing against each other, both just being probably the best players in baseball for the week. It was incredible to watch.
For sure. For sure. Actually, I have one thing on the agenda I want to talk about. Hot take. To end the episode. Big hot take. So I want to get your opinion on this. So, as we all know, Jackie Robinson, we celebrated his, debut into Major League Baseball. This happened back on April 15th, 1947, where he broke the color barrier and, he took the field at Ebbets Field for the Brooklyn Dodgers. So, got his jersey a few weeks ago. Got the baby blue Brooklyn. I love it. Why is it not on me? It's a little snug right now. But I want to say this. This is my hot take. This year, we've seen two of the biggest days in baseball, right? We got All-Star break. We got opening day, Jackie Robinson Day. Those are like, in my opinion, outside of the postseason, those are like the three biggest events for baseball during the year. Is there a day I'm missing maybe?
I mean, the only one I would probably say would be maybe like trade deadline or last day of the season.
Okay. So, fair enough. Everyone knows, like, every baseball player wears 42. Everyone knows, like, opening day is fucking opening day, right? And then you got the All-Star break where you got the draft, you got the Derby, you got the All-Star game, you got the celebrity softball game. You got so many events in like a 2-3 day span. Jackie Robinson Day is one of the biggest ones. And I know they want to play the games on the day he actually made the debut, which is the 15th. I think baseball needs to just pivot and do, like, this year opening day was not on a Saturday. Jackie Robinson Day, not on a Saturday. It's two huge marketing things. And like, for me, you got to sell out just a tad. And maybe you don't have to do it for Robinson Day, but opening day should never not be on a Saturday. I don't understand that. But I think that you got to pivot either Jackie Robinson Day or opening day or both to be on weekends. Is that too hot of a take, or is that disrespectful? I don't even know how to view that. I just obviously the guy he did things that no one can imagine doing. Because
you're trying to like almost make it a bigger thing, and like make it more of not just because even like it creeps up on me too, where it's like I kind of forget and then I wake up in the morning. It's like, oh, it's Jackie Robinson Day. Like, it's not something that I feel like they market very well either. Major League Baseball, it's not like, hey, Jackie Robinson Day is coming up. It's kind of just, when it happens type of thing. Even for myself, I find out that way. I think, I like the idea of it. I would probably want to just keep it on the same day just to do it that way. But I can see, I think marketing would be the bigger thing. The opening day thing, I think I like it too. You probably start on a weekend, probably better than starting like a Wednesday, whatever. But I think you do have to start at least on a Friday, because then you have your 3-game series, your Friday, Saturday, Sunday, keep it in line with what it usually is, and then the Monday travel day.
Yeah. And maybe just opening day, but Jackie Robinson Day, I was like, the reason why this came up is because obviously it happened this week. And I was like, damn, this is the second big thing of the year already. Like, opening day and Jackie Robinson Day, they fall within 2-3 weeks of each other. Maybe within a month of each other. It's very early, and for those who are not baseball diehard fans, like the average fan, which is probably a majority of fans, who were trying to get into our game. Basketball's going on right now. The playoffs, hockey's going on right now. I'm not even sure where the hockey is. I'm so lost on hockey, and I only know basketball because I keep seeing things about LeBron and Bronny pop up on my news feed for some reason. But I just think that the MLB, even if you're not going to move the day, which maybe not move it, maybe that is a hot take, market it more. I feel like these are big days for the MLB to get after it and do a ton of marketing around and really growing the game, to fans and average fans who are not really locked in, because it is other sports that are going on right now. And baseball really, it hits its stride in the summer when all sports are kind of on a break. And then what kills baseball at the end of the year is when we go deep into the playoffs and you got football starting. That's really what kills it. So I think just baseball needs to capitalize on their opportunities. That being said, I'll shut my mouth because It's not going to happen. They're not going to move it, but it was my hot take of the day. Anything else from you?
I just want to bring up a funny number. The New York Mets, just one last thing on them.
Okay.
Their last 115 games, they have a 45-70 record. The 115 games before that, they had a 73-42 record. Basically, the last 115 games, they played at 100 loss pace. The 150 games before that, they played at 100 win pace.
Jeez, that is a funny number. I don't know even how to respond to that.
Nothing.
All right. Well, thank you for listening. If you're still with us, do all those fun things for us. Like, follow, subscribe. It helps us out, and we appreciate it. Have a great night, and DM us if you have any questions. Find us at Hagen Snell. What's the Twitter handle? Hagen Snell 5?
Hagen Snell BB.
Hagen Snell BB, and then at Skips View Brett. If not, you can find us both under the main Skips View podcast page or main Skippers View page. Have a good night. Bye.